Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this beautiful channel named Geeks for Geeks School. Um, so we guys were developing this space war game, as you guys very well know. Let me just run this game and show you what all things have we coded yet. So that's the whole game. This is what we have done till now. We are done with defining the code for bringing this amazingly beautiful background on this window. We are done with defining the code for getting this spaceship over here on our window. We are able to move it also. If I'm pressing the left direction key, I'm able to move it in the left. And if I'm pressing the right direction key, it is moving in the right. And at any point of time, if this the spaceship will never leave this window. Fine. Why? Because I have defined some restrictions on the movement of this spaceship. So if I'll keep the left direction key pressed, what will happen? It will at one point of time, when the value of spaceship underscore x variable, if the value of that variable which is actually controlling the well with the help of which we are controlling the value of x, so if it will become less than or equal to 0, what will happen? It will again become equal to 0 and the spaceship will be there on the window. It will never leave the window. Similarly, the same thing I have defined for the right direction key also. And right on the top you can see we have 5 different enemy sprites. Okay, and I've used for loop. If you remember in the previous lecture, I told you about that for loop with the help of which you can create multiple copies of this enemy sprite. Okay, besides that, what else have we coded? Let me show that to you. So if I will press the spacebar button, we'll see a bullet coming out from this spaceship. So that's what we have done till now. Now, what are we going to do today? That's what I would like to tell you. Let me come on this code, and if I will run this code over here, so I'm able to see this score getting reflected. And if I'll press the spacebar key to shoot the bullets, so the moment this bullet will strike any of these enemy sprites, what will happen? The score will get incremented by 1, and the enemy sprite to which the with which the bullet will collide, its position will change and it will start getting reflected at some other point on this amazingly beautiful gaming window. So that's what we are going to do today. We are going to define the code for the collision part, as well as we are going to define the code with the help of which we can keep a check on this code. So let's dive into the platform and do the needful. I would like to come right on the top over here, and where have we defined the code for the bullet? Now that's what we have to search for. So that's the one, right? These are the variables I have used for the bullet which is coming out of the spaceship when I'm pressing the spacebar key. Now it's time for us to define a function with the help of which we can put a check on the collision part. So aliens underscore x. Okay, we can pass this parameter. We can pass this as parameter. We can pass this as parameter, and we can pass this as parameter to this function. Now, in order to in order to check the collision, what we can do, we can check the distance in between the that alien and the bullet. I think that is one of the best ideas with the help of which we can check the collision happening in between the bullet and the alien sprite. So how to calculate the distance? For calculating the distance, we will need this module named math, and from here, from this module, we are going to make use of the sqrt function with the help of which we can calculate the square root. And there is, if you remember, you must have read a distance formula in your geometry. So same formula we are going to use here also for calculating the distance in between that alien sprite and the rocket sprite. So sqrt, and it is, we'll have to use this math.pow. So pow is for power, and alien underscore x minus bullet underscore x, and then we can place a comma, and we need to square it up also. Similarly, we can copy this entire thing, right, and we can add this whole thing over here. Now the only thing that we have to do here is we need to replace this x with y like this, right? So that's how we'll be able to calculate the distance in between the bullet and the alien sprite. Now it's time for us to check whether the distance is smaller than 20 or not. The moment the distance will become smaller than 20, we would like this uh, function to return true. Else what should happen? It should always return false to us, right? That's so simple, isn't it? Okay, now what? We need something with the help of which we can check the score also. We can get the score also incremented on regular basis if the bullet touches the alien sprite. So for that, we can make use of a counter variable. So let's define a counter variable score, and I have initialized it with 0. Right. Okay, so score is equal to 0 at present. Now we can have something like font. So it's a variable in which I would like to get a free font which Pygame can provide us very easily. So which thing can we use for getting the free font? So that's the function. Font is a function with which can help you in providing some free font to you can use for getting your score reflected as a text on the game window. So free sans bold we can write here, and then we can pass this value ttf. Okay, and 32 is going to be the font size, right? So that's how you can use this font class. Then it's time for us to define two different variables. So with these two variables, we'll be uh, you know we'll be using these two variables for the position of the score. Where do you want to get this score reflected on the game window? So that position we'll control with the help of these variables, right? It's time for us to define another function with the help of which we can get the score reflected on the game window. So we can use something like this score is the name of the function which I would be using for getting the score reflected on the game window. And let's use a variable here, s is equal to, then there is a function called render. If you don't know about this function, I would like you to please go and check my tutorial in which I have explained it in very detail, right? So that's the function with the help of which you can get the text on your what we call it game window. And now we'll convert this score. The score is going to come in the score named variable. It is going to come and it will get saved in the score named variable, because we want to get it reflected with this score, which is a string on our game window. So that is the reason we need to convert it first into string, because on Python you cannot add a string, you cannot add an integer value with a string. So that's the reason I need to convert it first into string, so that it can be made reflected with this score equal to, that's a string. So that's the reason we need to, I've used this conversion method here, type conversion method here. Then in which color you would like to see the text getting reflected? I would like to see it getting reflected in white. So that's the reason I have passed 255, 255 and 255 here. It is for RGB and B, RG and B. It's time for us to bring the font or the score on the game windows. How can we do that? That's the function, right? Blit. block transfer function with the help of which you can bring anything on your gaming window. So x comma y, we can put the coordinates of the point where you want to see the text getting reflected. So these are the coordinates of that point where the text is now going to get visible to us. Okay, I think now everything is fine. Here we have this aliens variables. Then we have this for loop over here. Here also, I don't think that we require anything to change. Then we have this display aliens. We have this fire bullet. Okay, this is also perfectly fine. We don't have to change anything here. Let's come down. Okay, so we have this event dot type. Fine. Then we have this if control statement for the if for the spaceship, right, which is going to um, help us in preventing the spaceship going out of the window at any point of time. Because if the user will go on pressing the left direction key, what should happen? So if this condition at any point of time becomes true, then this will happen. If this condition becomes true, then this is going to happen, right? So it will prevent the spaceship from going out of the window at any point of time. Okay, then we have this B state. This is the if control statement which is helping us in firing the multiple bullets out of the spaceship. These two if control statements. Okay, I hope everything is fine till now. Then we have this for I. Okay, now here we need to define something with the help of which we can check the collision, right? So we have defined a function right on the top over here, I think. Yeah, so that's the function. Collision is the name of this function which we have defined for checking the collision. So we'll have to define some condition over here also, with the help of which we can make the things happen for us. So let's check the value of this collision named function. So if collision aliens x, and it should be I because it is inside the for loop, right? If this and this I, okay, and then we can have bullets also, bullet x and bullet y, right? So if this condition is true, then what should happen? Now that's what we have to define the code for. So bullet underscore y should become equal to what? It should become equal to 480. As per the screen size, I've taken this value. And the scores value, the value of the counter variable score should get incremented by 1. So I think this is going to help us. And if we'll simply print the score like this, then also it is going to it will print everything. It will print for us the value of the score in this log window over here. Am I right? Yes, I am. Then we can have the state is equal to false. I think that is again mandatory for us to initialize the value of, right, because that's the one which is actually controlling the bullets. Then after this we need to pass some random values to this x. So how can we pass a random value? We can make use of this random random function. So 0 comma 735. Okay, and to this aliens y we can again pass a random value. To this also we are going to make use of the same function, that is random 50 comma 150. Okay, and then you know what we can do? We need to, if you will run this code simply, let's see what's gonna happen. We are getting some error. Why? Okay, the name of this keyword is not correct. I need to, the spelling is not correct, sorry. It should be return. That's the reason we were getting an error over here. Yeah, perfectly fine. Now if I'll press the spacebar key, okay, so I'm able to hit the aliens, right? And you can see here, this course value is also getting printed in this log menu. Can you guys tell me why we are not able to get this score reflected over here on this game window? That's the question for you guys. Let me come on the chat box and see if you guys can answer this question of mine. So my question is, if I am running this game right now, if I'm running this game, I am able to, you know, if I'll fire this bullet and if this bullet strikes any of these enemy sprites over here, so I'm able to get this course value reflected over here. I'm able to see the value of the score variable reflected over here in this logs, but I'm not able to see the score getting reflected on this window. I have used everything. I've used a variable also here. Let me just show it to you. I have used this variable also. I have used this split function also, but I am not able to see this score getting reflected, this thing getting reflected on my window. Why is it so? You know why it is so? It's because I haven't called this function yet here inside this main loop. That is again very important. If you want to see something getting reflected on the main window, you need to call it inside this main function. Okay, so let's do that quickly. I am going to come here. Let's come outside this if control statement, and this is function, and we need to pass these two parameters to this function. Let's now run the game and see whether this time we will be able to get the score on our window or not. Okay, so we are getting an error. Why is it so? So it is bool object is not callable. Perhaps you missed a comma. Okay. Okay, I missed a comma in between this boolean value and this RGB values over here. Let me do that quickly. Let me put a comma quickly in between these two things. Yeah. Now if I'll run this code, I am able to see this score getting reflected here on my amazingly beautiful playground, right? And now if I'll fire a bullet, okay, the score is getting incremented every time the bullet is hitting any of these 5 enemy sprites. I'm able to see this score getting incremented by 1. See how amazing this game is looking. I'm enjoying this game a lot. And now, if you want to make this game more interactive and more interesting, you can add some sound to this game, right? And how to add a sound to this game? It's a 3 line of code which I told you about in one of my gaming lectures. So you can check out those 3 lines of code from there, and please do add some sound to this game, okay, to make it more interactive. If you know the code, please do share it with everyone in the chat box so that they can also come to know about those 3 magical lines of code with the help of which they can integrate a very beautiful sound in the background of this game. Okay, so this is it from my side. Before ending this lecture, again, I would like to tell you about what all things I have done in this game to code this game, what all lines of code I have used. So the first 3 things are here I have imported the 3 modules which we require for the game. So Pygame is the main module which is helping us in which has helped us a lot in making this game and is in creating this game. And then we have this random module with the help of which we are getting some random numbers generated. Math is for that distance function, that distance formula which we are using for calculating the distance in between the bullet sprite and the what we call it enemy sprite. So sqrt is the name of the function that we have used which is present in this math module for calculating the distance in between the bullet sprite and the enemy sprite. So the moment the distance between the enemy and the bullet sprite will become smaller than 0, what will happen? It means that collision has occurred, and the value of score, which is a temporary variable, or you can say a counter variable, needs to be incremented by 1. So that's what is this math has been used for. Then pygame.initiate. This is of course important. If you don't know about it, please do check out the previous tutorials of mine in which I have explained it in very brief to all my viewers. Then that's the function with the help of which you can set the dimensions of your window. Okay, now that's the function using which you can get a caption on your gaming window. So space war is the one which I have defined for my game. It is your call what caption you want to see on your gaming window. Then that's the one with the help of which I'm able to get this beautiful picture over here. So that's the one which I have defined. Okay, so using this set icon you can easily get the icon whatever you want to get reflected on your gaming window. Then we have these variables here which we have used for getting the spaceship, the rocket kind of thing, which you are able to see in the bottom of the game. So that's the function I've used for loading the image on this variable. These are the two variables I've used for uh, fixing the position of this spaceship or checking the position of this spaceship. And that's the function which is with the help of which I'm able to change the position, or you can say which is helping me to allot or assign some speed to the spaceship so as to move it in the right or left direction. Because without any speed, the object cannot move. If until and unless it has some speed, everything needs some speed to move, whether it is 1 kilometer per hour or 2 kilometer per hour, right? Something like this. Every object needs some speed to move. So that's the one which is helping us in doing it with this spaceship. Then that's the function I have used for getting this spaceship on my gaming window. So I've used this split function over here, as you can see. Then we have these variables which we have used for the bullet sprite, which is appearing when I am pressing the spacebar key. Okay, that's the function which has been defined for checking the collision happening in between the bullet sprite and the alien sprite. Then score is for checking the score of the player, right? That's these are the variables we have used for the aliens, right? The alien sprites which we are able to see moving on the top of the game window. So these are the variables we have used for creating the alien sprites. Now why we have assigned these empty lists to all these variables? It's because we want multiple copies to get generated. If you want to know more about these variables and this for loop, which is actually helping us in generating 5 different aliens, so you can check the previous tutorial which I showed it yesterday. Definitely you will be able to understand it in a much better way. If I'll change it to 10, let's see what is going to happen. So now there are 10 different alien sprites which I am able to see on my game window. So that's how you can change the value. You can do some experiment with these values I have used over here. Then these are the functions I've used for getting the aliens on my game window, and this is the one which I've used for getting the bullet sprite reflected on my game window. Then running is equal to true while this condition is true. So that's the game loop, main game loop. So till the time this condition is true, these all things are going to happen. Now what all things will happen? Let's check it out. So that's the for loop which is going to capture all the event which will take place while when the game is in running mode, right? So if the user will press the close button at any point of time, the value of running will become false and the window will close. Right, window will get closed if the user presses any of the keyboard keys. Then this is the control statement uh, which is going to check that thing, and now it will check which key the user has pressed. So if the user has pressed a right direction key, the spaceship is going to move in the right direction. If he has pressed the left direction key, the spaceship will move in the left direction. And if the user has pressed spacebar key, and at that point of time if the value of B state is false, then a bullet will come out of the spaceship. Right, and the moment the user will release the pressed key, so if the pressed key is right or if it is left direction key, then the spaceship will become stationary. It will not, the user will not be able to see it moving anymore, right, either in left or right direction. Then that's the condition which we which is actually helping the user in moving the spaceship in left and right direction. If at any point of time the spaceship's x value becomes smaller than 0, so it will become equal to 0. Why? Because we don't want the spaceship to leave the window at any point of time. If the user keeps on if he'll go on pressing the left direction key or right direction key, I don't want the spaceship to leave the window at any point of time. So that's the reason these two control statements I've defined here. Then display spaceship, it is going to help us in bringing the rocket, the spaceship getting reflected on the window and bringing the spaceship on the window. Then this B state will be checked. If its value is true, then this will happen. Otherwise these two conditions will not be, these two things will not be executed. Now we do, as soon as the bullet's value will become smaller than or equal to 0, then bullet y will become equal to 400, and if the user will now press the spacebar key again, he will be able to fire another bullet. Right, if I will remove this code from here, what will happen? We'll not be able to fire more than one bullet from this spaceship. So that's the code which is helping us in firing number of bullets from this spaceship. Okay, then we have this for loop which is helping us in making the aliens move automatically from here, from left to right and right to left. Fine. And that's the one with the help of which we are checking the collision which is happening in between the bullet and the aliens. Okay, this is the one which is helping us in getting the score reflected on the game window, and that's the one which is helping us in bringing the aliens on the game window and we are able to see all the aliens. Then that's the function which is helping us in updating everything. These all things which we have defined inside the while loop, inside this while loop which is the main loop, they are being constantly updated by this update function. If we will remove it from here, let me just comment out this thing and see what's gonna happen. See, we will not be able to see anything. It is a black screen which we are able to see right now. You're not able to see any enemy sprite. If I'm pressing the spacebar key, nothing is happening, right? Because we have to update each and every frame which that while loop, that main loop is creating for us. And how to update those frames? Using this, we can update everything easily. So we need to use this function. See, so now everything is getting updated, and because the change is so fast that we are not able to visualize the change, but yes, it is happening right now. Every frame which is getting created, it is being updated and we are able to see these aliens moving. We are able to move the spaceship also, and if I'll fire the bullet from this spaceship by pressing this spacebar key, so I'm able to see the score also getting incremented by 1. See how beautiful this animation is looking. So please do check this code. Please do try to develop this game on your own. I have explained each and every line of code I've used for creating this beautiful game to you guys. In case you come across any issue while developing this game, please do let me know about your issues. Do share it with me in the comment box. I am there always to help you guys out. Thank you very much for being there with me in this tutorial. Hope you guys enjoyed it a lot. Tomorrow we are going to start with a new thing. We'll be developing a new game, and again it will be bifurcated into 3 or 4 parts. So it's a Flappy Bird game that we are going to start trying from tomorrow, and definitely we will succeed in making a very beautiful Flappy Bird game. So I would like all of you to be there in tomorrow's lecture and also in all the lectures which I am going to shoot in future. Thank you very much for all the support that you are providing to my videos. Thank you very much to all the students who are liking the videos, who are sharing the videos in their groups regularly. It definitely means a lot, because without your support, without your motivation, it is really not possible for me to shoot such great videos. And if you want me to provide you guys with some more great content, then please do like the videos I'm shooting, and also please do share the videos in your groups, so that the other students who want to learn these amazing coding things can come and join this channel named Geeks for Geeks School, which is actually doing a very good thing. Thank you very much, all of you. Have a great